If you don't call them out, you will continue living your life in fear. Yo, what's up? This is Kira with Psychopath Exposure, and we're back. A while back I heard of a quote. I don't know where I heard it or who said it, so I'm not trying to take credit here, but it changed my life. And it goes, the brain needs proof, not promise. And that has resonated with me, has just changed the way I see things, the way I reframe negative experiences, and it's helped keep my anxiety under control for the most part. I want to talk to you about the way I broke down that quote and how it's going to help you guys keep your anxiety disorder and your panic attacks in check, and how it's going to help you learn and heal from this traumatic, narcissistic, psychopathic, toxic relationship that you're either in or just recently got discarded from. You know, when you go through a traumatic situation and you start reliving it in your head, it creates a lot of panic and fear and anxiety. The brain remembers the way you reacted when that situation occurred to you. It's always going to remember the things you said, how you felt, how you handled the situation. The brain needs proof, not promise. Doesn't matter how many affirmations, how many promises you make to yourself, that if the narcissist ever says this to me again, if I'm ever put in a similar situation again, if whatever it may be, the brain knows more. Your subconscious knows more than your conscience. Okay? The subconscious is the one that holds your fears and your anxiety. That's why when you get triggered, when a button is pushed in your nervous system, it triggers all this anxiety that maybe you developed as a child. Maybe you almost drowned when you were 3 years old, and as an adult, you're in the water and some water gets up your nose maybe, and bam, you're 3 years old again and you're drowning. And if you never took the time to learn how to swim, if you never took the time to get your head underwater and get water up your nose and be able to get out of it and not panic, the brain is always going to remember, okay, whenever water actually gets in my nose, I'm going to feel like I'm drowning and I'm going to throw a panic attack. It doesn't matter how many times you tell yourself that if you're ever in the water and water gets up your nose, that you're going to react differently and that you're going to calm down and you're going to do what you know. It doesn't matter. Because the brain only remembers what you last actually did. It needs proof. It needs proof that you can survive the situation if it were to ever arise again. You can feed your brain all the lies that you want, but it needs proof. And that's why it's important that you give yourself the opportunity of moving forward in other relationships, with new friendships, new business ventures. You have to try things again. And when the same situation happens, then you act differently than you did before. That's when you put into practice everything that you've been training, everything that you've been reading. That's when you put it to work, right? That's when you take the action and you do the opposite of what you did before. And now your brain is like, holy shit, I actually got through this. I actually stood up for myself. It's like when that bully in school is always picking on you and always beating you, and you go home and you cry. Or maybe your grandfather would tell you, at least he would tell me, he's like, next time you see him, you're gonna, if he does something to you, you're gonna clench your fist and you're gonna tell him that you're gonna kick his ass or some bullshit like that. And then you're there talking to your grandpa and you're feeling, oh, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, grandpa, tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you see that bully come across the corner and you're like, oh, fuck. You haven't proven to your brain that you have what it takes to stand up for yourself and survive. You got to develop the courage to take action. You have to take action. Action creates momentum. It creates energy. The next time your narcissist or your psychopathic ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, your mother, your father, whoever your tormentor is, whenever they do the things that create panic and anxiety in you, if you don't take the action to stand up, call them out for what they are and for what they're doing, if they're gaslighting you, if they're projecting the bullshit that they do, if they're projecting that onto you, if they're being a snake Mind you, they're all narcissists are snakes. So if they're being themselves, and you know they're full of shit, if you don't call them out, you will continue living your life in fear. And you will once again validate what the brain is telling you. And what it's telling you is that when this situation arises, you're going to do the same bullshit, and you're going to sink even lower into your trauma. And that's why it's important that we rise above this trauma. I'm not saying ignore the trauma, because it's there. But you have to use it and use it as fuel and be like, okay, this is a monster that I'm dealing with, but I'm not going to accept this behavior anymore. And you have to do something different. And you have to show your brain that you're going to stand up and you're going to call them out. You're going to stand up for what you believe in. And you're going to set those boundaries. And once that happens, you start growing in strength. And your power starts growing. And you take the power away from the narcissist. You take back their power. You take away their power. You diffuse them. You weaken them. Because all they're trying to do is weaken you. No, now you turn it back on them. Now you turn it back on them. Right? The brain needs proof, not promise. Take action. Go out there and stand up. Take the action. Go out there and do what you said you're going to do. Another example is when you say you're going to do a project, when you're going to film a YouTube video, you're going to run that 5K race, you're going to lose weight, you're going to go to the gym, whatever. You say you're going to do it, you say you're going to start on Monday, but you know you're full of shit. And Monday comes around and you don't do it. So you're reinforcing that negative belief system that you have ingrained in you. You're reinforcing your subconscious to keep you down. But when Monday comes around, if you made a promise to your brain, right? You know, it doesn't need promises. If you made a promise to your brain, now you got to keep it. So you wake up and I don't want to go to the gym. I have a panic attack. I have anxiety. You know what? Fucking go. Fucking go. Just fucking show up. Even if you don't lift the weights, fucking show up. So your brain will see like, okay, next time I say I'm going to do something, even if I have anxiety, I went. I remember I went, right? And then you build from that, and you build from that. In the case of a psychopath, in the case of a narcissist, when they do the shit that they do, you fire back. You use the tools that you've been learning and studying. You use those tools, and you fight back. And maybe fighting back is not taking their calls. Maybe fighting back is blocking them on social media. Which, by the way, if you haven't already blocked them on social media, I strongly suggest you take a look at the ebook that I put together for you guys. It's the 5 steps of going no contact with a psychopath narcissist. It takes you by the hand and it shows you step by step what you need to do to block them out of your life. And this is a prime example right now of something you need to do, and you need to prove to your brain that you're taking action on. Don't just say, yeah, I'm going to block them, and then you go on social media and you start scrolling through all your pictures, which, by the way, is creating more anxiety and more trauma. And then you go on their page and you see them, they've moved on with their new girlfriend or their new boyfriend. No, you block them immediately, because that's what you said you were going to do, and that's what you need to do. And you need to prove to your brain that you have power and you have courage. You block them now. I know it's not easy, and that's why I put together the ebook for you. When I went through this, I didn't have information like this, but I had a mentor. I had a mentor that told me exactly what I needed to do. And I trusted this guy like if he was an angel sent from heaven. He did exactly what he needed to do. And the first thing he told me I needed to do was block them. No contact. Block their phone numbers. I had to block their social media. I had to block them, their emails. I had to get rid of any source of communication that they had. And he told me exactly what to do, and I did it. I'm telling you guys exactly what you need to do. Check that out. It's absolutely free. It's 22 pages. You can have it on your phone. It'll be your study guide, your study companion. This information is vital. It's crucial to your recovery. And when you take action on that, you're going to be proving to your brain that you do have the power and the courage and the strength to get forward and to heal. to get better and to heal and to move forward with your life. Remember guys, the brain needs proof, not promise. Stop believing in all this woo-woo shit. Stop telling yourself all these lies. Write down your goals. It's okay to tell yourself what you're gonna do, but stop lying to yourself. If you don't do it, you're wasting your time lying to yourself. Just say what you're gonna say at once, write it down if you need to, bam, and do it now. Do it right away, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate, do it now. That's how you empower yourself. That's how you empower your subconscious. That's how you're gonna get through this trauma. And then you can move on to the next step and to the next level. We're not gonna let these motherfuckers ruin us. Let's get it together. Leave a like in the video if you liked it. It's gonna help the video get exposure on YouTube so we can expose those motherfucking psychopaths and narcissists. We're gonna help people like you and me grow in strength, develop our courage, recover. This is a traumatic experience that's gonna last a lifetime. But I'm gonna show you guys how you can make a better life for yourself, how you can grow and fulfill the purpose that you were put on this planet to do, that those monsters try to rip you and strip you away from.